You might say that 2020 is onto a colourful start. G'day everyone, welcome back to another Catch Up with Kiralee. If you're new here, hiya, I'm Kiralee. So today I wanted to talk to you about my first plan for 2020, and it's going to be a little bit different. I'm starting off this new year by not doing a cosplay. I'm actually going to attempt a costume. To be specific, a fancy dress costume that was drawn in 1860 for the amazing House of Worth. So what is this costume, you say? Well, it's this one, the rainbow dress. So for those of you who may not know what the House of Worth is, or what the heck I'm talking about, essentially it was a fashion house that was created in the mid-1800s by Charles Frederick Worth, who was an Englishman who went to Paris and opened up his store there. It's kind of considered the father of couture clothing. Now, literally, there were thousands of dresses that were made, and they were basically for the elite of society across the globe. There are still quite a few of them in existence. And I must say, the thing that I love about them, although the dresses are absolutely gorgeous, the ones that I am drawn to the most are the fancy dress costumes. Some of these fancy dress costumes are mind-blowing. One of them, the one that was made for Alice Vanderbilt, I think it was, in 1893, I'm going off memory here, was called the Spirit of Electricity, and it included a hiding place for a battery, I'm guessing in the bustle area, that would connect to a torch that she could hold. And the amount of sequining and embroidery and just tailoring on that costume is incredible. One day I may make that one, but I didn't want to chew off too much for just starting out. So why I've decided to do this as my first project is because I am simply so inspired. There are quite a few ladies that I've been following on YouTube and Instagram recently that do historical garments, and one of them is the ever amazing Cathy Hay. Cathy Hay is creating one of the most difficult dresses I think that has ever come into existence, and that's the peacock dress. Once again, by the House of Worth. It's been an ongoing project for her for years, and 2020 is going to be the year for her. I can feel it in my bones! I also want to mention that I actually learned about House of Worth many years ago when I was actually still in high school. I'm excited to kind of go back to those roots as well. So I wanted to share with you a quick description which was on the Victoria and Albert Museum website that accompanied this picture. It reads, "It embodies a rainbow. The grey-blue crinoline dress is overlaid with tulle and applied beads to suggest raindrops, and is embellished with a large gold sun on the bodice. Another sun forms the headdress, which is overlaid with a sheer tulle veil tinted in rainbow colours. The overskirt is also coloured with rainbows, and the model carries a matching fan and wears shoes trimmed with golden stars. While the design is essentially very simple by 19th century standards, it is very effective." This is a simple dress that I'm going to spend so much time working on. So I asked my followers on Instagram what kind of questions they would have in regards to this dress, and I wanted to answer a few of them here for you. So question number one was, is this going to be historically accurate? The short answer to that question is no, it's not going to be historically accurate. The kind of more padded version of that is that my undergarments are not going to be historically accurate. The reason behind that is that I wanted to use the corset that I already have, which gives me a sort of mid-century, mid-19th century silhouette. Plus I will be making a crinoline, and the petticoat will probably be a little bit different to historical petticoats because I'm going to be making out of tulle and probably do a lot of layers. We'll just see in regards to that one. I kind of want to try and make it as light as possible. The reason behind it is that I wanted to just focus on the dress for this particular project. I'm literally dipping my toes into this water. And I know if I construct a corset from scratch and then everything else, I may become discouraged before I even get to the dress. In terms of the costume itself, I will be trying to construct it as closely to the description as possible. However, some of the materials are going to be changed. For example, the tulle that is heavily featured within this is actually polyester. And to my knowledge, the tulle at that point in time was not polyester. And as for beads, I believe that my beads will be some glass and some plastic. So I believe that he was using glass, and later on he was using crystals from Swarovski crystals. But yes, I will be using glass and some plastic beads. The next questions were the ones that I got the most. How am I going to do the rainbow, and how am I going to do the sun? Glad you asked. Let me bring out the fabric. So let's start off with the rainbow, since it's kind of the feature of the dress. I have this rainbow tulle, and it's very light, it's very sheer, and I can certainly play around with the placement of the colours to get a bit of a gradient effect. So I think that's going to work really well for the outfit. The underdress is going to be made out of this grey-blue silk Giponi that I bought for a different project, but when it arrived, it was a little bit too grey for me to use. However, it's absolutely perfect for this project, and I love the weight of this. I love the feel of this. I'm so excited to be, finally using it. Here's the tulle. I have so much tulle, and I've got different weights of tulle. For the overdress, I am going to be using this bridal tulle, and I think I've got some more on a roll, just because I want it to be light and fluffy, and I wanted to get it as white as possible. So now onto the suns. The short answer is that I really need to play around with it. I'm not 100% sure, but you know what? Test and try. It's gonna be fun. So I'm going to start off with this satin that I've got. It's really lovely. It's got this bright yellow, which is absolutely perfect for the sun itself and to be used as a base. I have a whole lot of heavy interfacing, which I'm going to play around with. I may also use wire and maybe even buckram. And then finally, I also have a whole lot of gold beads. So I want to try and incorporate this into the sun, play around with it a bit, and definitely bring that beading element into the suns as well as on the skirt. And the raindrops on the skirt will be clear beads. I'm probably going to get some kind of iridescent bead just because I think that will bring the shine of raindrops even more. And yeah, I have to get those because funnily enough, I don't have those in my collection. I have every other color of bead except clear. Okay, so that's where I'm up to at the moment. I'm still kind of digesting it and figuring out how I'm going to tackle it, but I am very excited for this project. I hope that you will join me on this journey. And just like other costumes, I will be vlogging along the way so you can see what the end product looks like. And see all my testing and my failure. And then working out how to make it right. Anyway guys, thank you so much for watching. In the comments below, if you know who the House of Worth is, please tell me what would be the gown that you would like to recreate. There are so many pretty ones to choose from. As always, if you like what I do, please subscribe, like this video, and I'll see you all next time. Bye!